I'm Tracy Koga with something short and fun. This is a Hugh Soundbite. Well, all the way from beautiful Vancouver, connected virtually, of course, but hey, that's the beauty about doing all of these Zoom calls. So good to see you, Suzie. And I want to say welcome to Winnipeg a little bit. You've been to Winnipeg before, and
Yes.
and I guess under a different name. And first of all, congratulations on the new coming out or soon to come out album and some amazing singles. We'll talk about Mount Royal, but you released Baby Blues. What has this year been like for you, Suzie Ungerleider?
Thanks for having me, Tracy. This year, I feel very lucky to say that I've actually felt more connected to people in a weird way because I'm having these regular discussions with people and I can see people from all across the country. Like, we're making more of an effort to actually connect. And even though I can't see people in person, I feel like I have got a lot of community around, and I'm very lucky to be in a place where I can go outside and experience nature. And the weather has been, it's mild here as opposed to Winterpeg. So, yeah.
Okay.
And
well,
then I feel lucky because I did make this record, mostly before the pandemic started. So I've anticipated the release of this, and then also it's been time of reflection and contemplation about doing this name transformation and all this stuff. So I feel good. I feel badly for people who are in much worse situations than I am.
Okay, so Suzie, how is this album maybe a little bit different then? Because, we'll talk definitely about the name change, formerly O Susanna, but now you're taking your own original name back.
Let me see. I think that it's interesting. I worked very closely with singer-songwriter Jim Bryson, and he produced the record. And we made it very, very kind of little bits at a time. So I would have a few songs, and then I'd go to Ottawa. I was living in Toronto, so it wasn't that difficult to get there. And I would go to Ottawa for a few days, and I would camp out with him in his little backyard studio. And he's got all these cedar trees around. It's really beautiful. And we'd work just the two of us mostly together. And I would play the songs and kind of watch him create this soundscape behind it. And it was very intimate, very personal feeling. And at the end of it, he was saying, I really feel like we found your sound, that it's very true to who you are. Instead of trying to fit into a genre or fit into some other kind of category, it's just an expression of how you see things. And so I guess it matched. I mean, at that time, we weren't really, when I was recording, I wasn't really thinking about the name change or doing that at all. It kind of emerged after most of the record was done. But he said, it really makes a lot of sense that you're going back to your name with this record, because it feels like it's much more about something coming from you rather than a genre or a tradition.
Oh, that is so interesting, because I kind of see a new wave of artists, especially female artists, emerging out of this pandemic and isolation and figuring and pivoting and whatever other words you want to put in there, but being authentic. I don't know if that resonates with you, but it's so funny that you shared that on what this whole point in your life is moving towards. And it's like, and I think a lot to do with social media and everything like that, but I think females especially are being able to have a voice and not be afraid.
Yeah. Being vulnerable and being able to just go, this is me, or this is, instead of, that's what I think with O Susanna. It was a nice shield in a way, or a cloak that I could put on, and so I decided to take it off. I mean, it was interesting. I think it was kind of a gradual thing psychologically, and I wasn't really conscious of it, but I think over the last few years I've been kind of feeling a little disconnected from that persona that I had taken on. You know, I decided to use it like 25 years ago. So it was, you know, something that when you're younger, sometimes you decide to do things and they make sense at the time. And then as you get older, you're like, well, maybe I need to go back to who I was or what that means.
And also, well, I was going to ask then too, you do this change or this, you know, transformation. When you get back into live performance, will we see a new Suzie, or, you know, are there going to be people that are wanting O Susanna back? I'm kind of wondering about that, because, I mean, coming back for an artist, no matter what, connecting with an audience is so important.
Yeah, it was interesting. Somebody even asked me, are you going to perform your old songs? And I was like, of course I am, because, you know, they're still my songs. And I've never really hidden the fact that my name is Suzie Ungerleider. It's like, it's something that I've always kind of had side by side or just behind the curtain kind of thing. And it's interesting. I don't know if I'm going to consciously be aware of doing anything different. Mm-hmm. Maybe it will create some kind of difference, maybe in my attitude about something or in the kind of stories I tell, but I think I've, you know, doing music over a long time, I've always tried to tell stories and sometimes tell other people's stories as if they were my own. And I think that as time went on, I was being more honest about what my stories were. And so maybe that is what will emerge now.
Oh, it's all exciting, I think, too, and especially in these times where, you know, we're all trying to find, I guess, our lane, right? Because everything, the world has changed, and, you know, who knows what live performances and concerts are going to look like, or whether we're all going to be there enjoying it but wearing masks, which probably, but I mean, again, that's going to be different too. For yourself on this new album, what songs really resonate for you?
I don't know. I think that they all they're like all little pictures and little movies, but it's interesting because the one, Mount Royal, is sort of like this sequel to the last collection of songs I did was about growing up in Vancouver and being a teenager. And the album ends, in my mind, the album ends when it's like you're 17 and you got to leave town, which is what, you know, when I was 17, I was like, I can't wait to get out of here and see this little backwater in the rear view mirror. And so, you know, move on to something bigger and better. And, you know, everyone kind of, I mean, a lot of people I knew really felt this way about, you know, their little town. They wanted to see other places. And so the last album ends kind of this feeling of like, you're going to go off to school, go off to college, and look, Vancouver's there, but you're going to leave it for now. And so the Mount Royal is sort of the next song it's sort of a sequel, because it's about going off to college in Montreal and feeling out of place and being like, oh my God, I'm actually super homesick now.
And true? Yes.
Who am I? And why am I here? I don't understand this place. But then also the beauty of being in a place where you don't understand it and you don't, you know, literally the language makes no sense, but also all the baggage of that place and just discovering something.
Well, and that probably brings back, well, obviously it does. You wrote the song about it, but it must bring back memories though, right? And then you kind of look back and then you look forward to where you are now. And, you know, is there anything that you would have done different now that you know so much?
I don't know. It's so hard to say something like that, because it's like, I do live, think about this all the time, you know, what choices did I make and what happened after because of the choices I made, and should I have done something different? Mm-hmm. But I think the thing was that I don't know if I could have made any other choice, or that choice that I made at the time made sense. If I were who I am now, would I have made the same choice? Probably not. Some of the choices, I'm hoping I wouldn't, because I feel like I'm wiser. But yeah, it's kind of like you just have to accept, like, okay, I did that. Maybe it wasn't the best idea, but I did learn a whole bunch through this maybe weird choice that I made. Yeah,
Well, I guess that is for another album to come.
that's right.
Well, you are going to leave us though with a good song. So what are you going to play? And
I'm gonna play you guys Mount Royal since I've been talking about it.
and I love
Are
your
you
dog,
ready?
by the way.
I know she's very adorable, and she can't keep away from interrupting my Zoom calls. Whenever I'm on a Zoom call, she's like, "Can I go outside?" And I can't. I'm stuck. But can you guys hear the guitar?
Yes, it sounds beautiful, Susie.
Okay, good. All right, here goes. It's imagine you're in Montreal in the late 80s, wandering the streets and feeling a little nostalgic and homesick. You loved skating around in those parking lots, rolling home every night after dark. You would see her shooting pool down on Saint Laurent, like she was shooting for the moon and the stars. You wanted to steal her away like Sir Lancelot, and sing her calypso songs in the park. But she was always shooting pool down on Saint Laurent, like she was shooting for the moon and the stars. And the stars were sang upon the banks of the port of Montreal, just after closing time at the bar. We fell down on our knees on the steps of the Oratoire, just to win the hairdo we think we are, shooting for the moon and the stars. You fell too many times in that parking lot. You got tired of counting your scars. Monday morning back at school at Loyola Hall, still you were dreaming of the moon and stars. You started to give away all those things you bought, and traded your skateboard for a guitar. You decided to grade school, you said it all. Still, you were dreaming of the moon and stars and stars. We sang among the ranks to an old-time country song, sheltered by the Blue Angel Bar. We spoke in broken French, so we never could belong. Just who in the hell do we think we are? Shooting for the moon and the stars.